I was a Tennessee hillbilly until I become a cowboy. You cannot tell that. Shame on you.
That is my friend Paul. And if you happen to know Paul, that clip of me laughing probably doesn't surprise you. That is who Paul is. No matter who you are, no matter how you meet Paul, he's always going to leave you with a smile on your face. Welcome to this week's reflection. So this reflection was inspired by my recent story that I shared about Paul. Now, I've known Paul for a while now. We've had several conversations together. We've gone out to shoot with our cameras together. We've played table tennis together, which, by the way, I think I won most of the games that we played. He might have a different story, but but the thing about Paul is anytime you get around him, you learn something new. And I think that is one beautiful thing about people, that no matter how long you've known somebody, the more time you spend with them, the more space you create for conversations, the more you realize that there is more to their stories. Recently, I got to hear a bit more about Paul's journey, and I'm super grateful that he allowed me to share this piece of his story with everybody.
Wyoming. Wow. I said, well, gee, I had never been to the Rocky Mountain area, Yeah. Not knowing this desert.
No.
So I talked to some of my buddy, I used to play ping pong with, and they've been to, of course, the best part, Jackson.
Yep.
So, yeah, he said, Wyoming is beautiful. he didn't say the Jackson or Yellowstone.
Oh, Yellowstone. Did you know about the weather? No.
I have a small rear-wheel drive.
So you didn't even look up Wyoming to see the weather?
I did look. I checked out 4 or 5 books and on Wyoming, and the first thing, this is before Google.
Yes.
First thing you want to look at it is like you go back to the index in the back of the book. You look under Rock Springs.
Okay.
Under Rock Springs, subtitle is Chinese Massacre. What a welcome.
That was what you said.
I said, what? So I looked it up pretty fast. So I know about the Chinese Massacre before I got here.
But you didn't look at the weather to see how the weather was?
Yeah, I did. I know it's cold, but it's not.
But you didn't
like
know
it.
yeah.
I checked in the hotel, and my boss said, hey, Paul, you need a set of snow chains. Snow chain? What was snow chains?
Oh, my God.
I have a very good drive. And it's shining, it's covered with snow that day, but for about a week, I would stay there. And then the first impression of Rock Spring, when I came in, I drove through town. Back then, Rock Spring just mostly a lot of trailer park.
Okay.
It's very muddy. The street is a very dirty town. I said, gee, this is not what my friend said. It's very nice,
That is, it's funny because that is just like my story coming to Rock Springs. The same thing. I did not even Google the word Wyoming to see what it looks like, to see.
Yeah.
I had no visual.
Yeah, for me, that's way before Google, so I cannot even look at it.
You couldn't even look it up.
Yeah,
I did not even look that up at all. So now, I smiled when Paul told me that because I could relate to that. Many years ago, I also moved to Rock Springs, Wyoming from Ghana. Now, our stories are very different, but how that feeling of arriving somewhere unfamiliar, somewhere unknown, and trying to figure and navigate life, I could relate to that. And for Paul, that wasn't the first time that he's experienced that.
I left Guangzhou or Canton, China, and then got into Hong Kong on December 26, 1970.
64, I think you told me.
Yeah, 74.
Yeah.
And then I never know about what's Christmas. So the people I first met, and they say, I wish you were here yesterday, Christmas. I said, what's Christmas? I never heard of Christmas.
Never heard the word Christmas. How was that transition for you? Not knowing, coming into a new, of course, you didn't speak English, right?
No. Well, I start with the night, I signed up for the night class, starting from like ABC.
How old were you at that time? How old?
I did
16?
14.
14.
Yeah.
So you signed up for night classes?
Yeah. Hopefully, I work in a factory in the daytime and go to school night class. Yeah.
For English.
But after about 6 months, I told my mom, "Can I just be a regular student like this?" But since I come out of China, I didn't know any English, so I kind of sat back 2 years because everybody in Hong Kong is talking English.
Talking English,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'm kind of basically 2 years older than the rest of the kids in the class.
In your class. Wow.
But I'm also 2 years smarter than them.
Was that hard for you or no?
It's hard, yeah.
Emotionally, was that tough for you being in that situation?
Not emotional, just like, a lot of work. Not like you have a sentence of English. Basically, I had to go to the dictionary and find out what vocabulary, what that means.
Yes.
But after a while, you get used to it, and then you learn a little bit more and more. So, and then, a couple other things like television, like news.
Okay.
Help you if you watch the English channel or maybe like movie. Most of the Western movie in Hong Kong, they have subtitle.
Yes.
So they're speaking English, but they have
you can
subtitle.
just read it. Yeah.
So
I really enjoy hearing that part of Paul's story. And it got me thinking about those times in our own lives when we find ourselves somewhere unfamiliar that we're just trying to figure things out. I think we've all experienced that in different ways. And when you are in it, you're probably not thinking about what you're learning or how that is changing you. In that moment, you're just trying to find your way. And sometimes it's only when you look back that you realize how much of those experiences really shaped you. And that is what Paul's story made me think about. And then we got to talking about happiness. Have you always been this cheerful and this funny and just full of life? Has that always been
I try to be.
You try to be? What do you mean try to be?
Well, sometimes you have a bad day and a good day, right? So a bad day, you may not be as smiling that much, but you want to force yourself when you talk to somebody, the public. You don't want to project an image. Hey, this guy is a jerk. Yeah.
Have you always been that way?
I try to maintain my cheerful side. If you do that, then you're a happy person. You won't be too cranky. Okay, not like Charlie. Yeah, really. If you're happy, you feel better, right?
No, it's true. Yeah. It's true. The same thing. People ask me all the time, why am I always happy? I'm like, they think sometimes I don't have bad days. I'm like, I have bad days sometimes.
You want to turn a bad day into a decent,
especially dealing with other people.
Yeah.
Always have to knowledge.
All I do is deal with people. That's why I walk down the street, I can see a lot of people know me.
I know, that's what I'm saying, yeah. I love that. And I think that is where I want to leave Paul's story for today. I've learned so much about Paul over the years, and this conversation gave me another opportunity to know him even a bit more and better. Paul, thank you so much for sharing pieces of your story with me and allowing me to share those pieces of stories with the world. Now, if you have a few minutes, I really encourage you to pause and read Paul's story on my website, Humans Among Us. There is much more to the journey that I could share here. Now, I'll also share our full conversation later this week on my YouTube channel. And if you read or watch, I'd love to know what stayed with you about Paul's story. Now, for those of you who know Paul, I'd love to hear how you would describe him in one word or a sentence. For me, it's vitality. That's a word that comes in mind. And as we move throughout this week, maybe Paul's story can leave us with something to think about. Is there a time in your own life when you were simply trying to find your way, but looking back now, you realize you were also finding a bit more about yourself and your journey? As always, let's have a blessed, safe week. Let's make room for our humanity. Let's create space for our humanity. And let's be kind to others. Always remembering there is more to the story. Let's have a safe, blessed week. Thank you.